Many times, people dismiss practices based on scriptures like Bhagavad Gita to be just blind faith and devoid of any reasoning. Let's say in a mother's womb there were two babies. Let's call them Hope and Doom. Hope believed in life after their delivery and told Doom, "Hey Doom, you know there is life after delivery?" Doom said, "Ridiculous. What kind of life would that be?" Hope replied, "I don't know, but there will be more light than here. Maybe we will walk with our legs and eat from our mouths." Doom replied, "Oh, that is absurd. How can we eat with our mouths? Completely illogical. The umbilical cord supplies nutrition and everything we need." Hope insisted, "Maybe we don't need this umbilical cord anymore. Maybe we will meet Mother and she will take care of us." Doom replied, "Mother? Are you insane? If she exists, can you show where she is now?" Hope said, "Oh, she is all around us. It is in her that we live. Without her, our world would not exist." Now, for someone outside of the womb, the so-called logical arguments of Doom conveys his ignorance and short-sightedness, whereas the so-called blind faith of the baby Hope appears completely logical, reasonable, and sensible. But for someone who is within the womb, Hope appears like a sentimental fool. In many ways, we are in this universe which is like the womb of Mother Nature, and we are like the babies. With our present senses, which are limited, erroneous, and imperfect, we cannot get perfect knowledge about things beyond our comprehension. Our logical reasoning can only reveal limited knowledge. A frog who lived in a small well throughout his life finds it very difficult to accommodate the idea of an ocean, which is infinite in size compared to the well it is accustomed to. But the fact is that the ocean does exist, even though it may be incomprehensible for the frog. Likewise, if we stick only to our logical reasoning of our tiny brain, we will miss out on the ocean of knowledge and reality. By mere speculation, we cannot understand who we are, what is our purpose in life, what is the origin of life and universe, why is there suffering, who is God, and so on and so forth. We have to understand it from proper authority who is in knowledge and who is not limited by our tiny frog-like brain. Just like a child may be completely ignorant about a watch, but when the father enlightens him about the watch and how it should be used, the child becomes immediately knowledgeable about the watch and immediately goes above his mental limitation. Similarly, if you want to find out who is your father, you cannot rely on the power of your logic and reason. You have to go to the proper authority, that is your mother. So you must approach an authority for receiving perfect knowledge. When we receive knowledge from God, the perfect authority, then we rise above our limitation of our mind and senses. The Vedic scriptures, and especially the Bhagavad Gita, is direct knowledge from God, Krishna. And great authorities like Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vyasadev, Narada Muni, who are known for their purity, integrity, have all accepted this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita and Vedic scriptures. And when we receive knowledge from these authorities, it is as good as getting perfect knowledge from God. Does this mean there is no scope for reasoning in spirituality? Absolutely there is. In fact, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "He who studies this sacred conversation worships me by his intelligence." This means applying our logic and reasoning to understand Bhagavad Gita and gradually become knowledgeable in these higher concepts. For example, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "I am the seed-giving father of all living entities." To understand this logically, we see that every living entity in this world comes from a father. That father in turn has another father. In this way, if we go all the way up, there must be an original father of all. And the same is being confirmed by Lord Krishna here. In yet another statement, Lord Krishna says, "Real knowledge is to see the main distresses of this world are birth, death, old age, and disease." When we look at the world, we see that irrespective of who they are, all beings undergo these four tribulations. And in another statement, Lord Krishna says, "This material nature is working immaculately by my superintendence." To understand this logically, take an example of a space station. To launch, control, and monitor a simple satellite or a spaceship, it requires so much of system, governance, resources, plans, and so on. Similarly, this gigantic universe with innumerable planets, stars, cosmic objects is running with precise laws, system, and order. So logically, there must be a cosmic governance and a supreme person in charge of that governance. When there are laws, there must be a lawmaker. When there is a system, there must be an intelligent person who designed that system. A kindergartner student finds the concept of negative numbers illogical and absurd. But we do know that as he goes through higher grades, applying his reason and logic to the topics presented from his teachers, he will slowly become mature to understand higher concepts like negative numbers. Similarly, by applying our logic and reasoning to the topics presented in Bhagavad Gita and gradually learning from a bona fide spiritual master and serving him, we can become mature and experience this knowledge ourselves directly. Hence, this process is most scientific, not just blind faith as people claim. Hare Krishna.